Had his kidneys failed a decade before, he may have gone on daily dialysis, with an average life expectancy of only a few years, and he would never have seen his first grandson. Being born in the right year and suffering a condition at the right time allowed Uncle Joe to receive medical therapy that allowed him not only to live, but to thrive. When his transplanted kidney began to fail, as often happens after a decade of extended life, he was again fortunate. He underwent a successful repeat kidney transplant, possible only by the advanced surgical technique, and even more revolutionary genetic sequencing technology, identifying his own son as a 100% ideal match. Uncle Joe was the lucky recipient of a breakthrough medicine that replaced his own body's missing insulin, a revolutionary surgery transplanting a functional kidney and pancreas, allowing him to survive a horrible demise from a crippled organ, and ultimately, genomic sequencing pushed his life expectancy beyond another decade. All of these mortality-defying therapies had not been available the decade prior. He was always there at the right time. However, at the same time that we've made so much progress, our costs have also been growing. Each presidential administration during my lifetime, and many before, trumpeted that we are on the verge of a disaster. On October 10, 1952, President Dwight Eisenhower gave a speech in Salt Lake City in which he reiterated his opposition to socialized medicine while also recognizing that all Americans deserve basic medical care and that the system needed reform. However, it wasn't until July 10, 1969, that President Richard Nixon proclaimed, "We face a massive crisis in this area. Without prompt administrative and legislative action, we will have a breakdown in our medical care system." This was considered the first time an administration declared such an emergency, and it not only was a pivotal moment for health care, but also marked the first attempt at a comprehensive health care reform. Ronald Reagan, a hero of so many present-day Republicans, was even willing to raise taxes to expand the government program Medicare. While I am opposed to socialized medicine, I have always felt that medical care should be available to those who cannot otherwise afford it. Although eager to recover from a difficult midterm election in 1982, Reagan's Medicare expansion might have been too generous for the nation's own good, causing continued rises in taxes and allotments for Medicare and Medicaid. As the costs continued to soar, health care was further discussed by Barack Obama when he addressed Congress in 2009. Our collective failure to meet this challenge, year after year, decade after decade, has led us to a breaking point. The latest report from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, published recently in Health Affairs, estimates national health expenditures will reach 20% of the gross domestic product, GDP, by 2027, and it included a series of colorful charts demonstrating theories on how and why costs have risen. The New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and even the New York Post were quick to pick up on this headline and used even more flair to highlight that America is going bankrupt and that our health system is to blame for it. The problem is that the report and various media outlets failed to note an important point regarding their latest catastrophic projections. We are not in an immediate crisis. Rather, we are nearing our fifth decade of a growing problem. It would be easy to think that innovation has driven these increased costs. However, pharmaceutical and medical device costs account for approximately 4% of the increased healthcare cost each year. The cost to develop and produce these novel discoveries is only one of the drivers of the rise in costs. Healthcare in the United States now resembles a business venture, and like all successful business ventures, to function, it must acquire administrative staff, legal counselors, information and technology specialists, marketing personnel, and an abundance of ancillary staff. This organizational compound, while good for overseers, adds on remarkable non-medical expenses to the total cost of care, thus increasing healthcare spending. Therefore, it is not surprising that the highest-paid entities in healthcare today are not physicians, but corporate executives and high-level administrators. Healthcare